Hello guys, the Fire Brother is here. My brother couldn't be here today, as always, because he's trying to figure out how to transform a Creon Transformers figure. And it's not even one of those big figures, it's one of the tiny ones. If you could tell him how you're supposed to transform it, that would be much appreciated. I'm sorry, I just can't. That was too funny. Whoever came up with that, you're a genius. Now, moving on to the... there's too many of these pets. Who keeps bringing them home? Anyway, so moving on to today's topic. We're finally talking about who are the new Autobots that appear at the end of the Bumblebee movie. Now, spoilers for Bumblebee and Bumblebee 2, because there's gonna be some minor spoilers for the sequel for Bumblebee. While Bumblebee 2 hasn't really been confirmed yet, it is being considered right now by Hasbro to, make a sequel to Bumblebee because the first one was a critical success. Even though the box office numbers are still, coming through. But anyways, we got 9 Autobots at the end of the film. And out of those 9, 2 got confirmed. We got other 2 that are semi-confirmed. And then we have the other Autobots whose identity we still don't know. So let's recap. By the end of the film, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are looking at the sky as new Autobot reinforcements arrive on Earth. And we know they're Autobots because it is implied in number 2 that the Decepticons don't know that Optimus and Bumblebee are hiding on Earth at the moment. So yeah, they're Autobots. And in total, there's 7 Autobots plus Optimus and Bumblebee, which makes a total of 9 Autobots. So, who are the 7 new Autobots? Well, that's kinda complicated to tell, but I'm gonna start with the ones that were pretty much confirmed. They haven't been officially confirmed, but they're implied to be part of the, Autobot group that lands on Earth. The first 2 characters that I suspect are part of the Autobot group are pretty easy to figure out. So at the beginning of the film, on the scenes on Cybertron, we got 6 Autobots, along with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Those being Cliffjumper, Ratchet, RC, Wheeljack, Brawn, and Ironhide. Out of those 6, Cliffjumper died. Press F to pay respects. In total, there's 5 surviving Autobots from Cybertron. I think it's safe to say that those 5 Autobots are gonna be the ones arriving on Earth. The reason why I'm saying this is because Bumblebee was the first Autobot to land on Earth. And supposedly not too long after, Cliffjumper landed near Earth because they were all supposed to rendezvous there. I'm guessing Cliffjumper was intercepted by Shadow and Dropkick and he lured them somewhere else. But anyways, it's interesting to note that Cliffjumper wasn't too far off, and keep in mind, Cliffjumper left Cybertron around the same time as Bumblebee. So if we assume that the other 5 Autobots that appear on Cybertron arrived on Earth around the same time, it's not too unbelievable because, they all left Cybertron around the same time. So it is implied that the Autobots that we see on Cybertron are the ones that land on Earth. But out of those 5, the ones that are pretty much confirmed are Ratchet and Ironhide. Not only are those 2 classic Autobots, but at the same time Hasbro released toys of them. And you guys might be wondering, oh, they're just toys, there's nothing important. Well, I think in this time these toys are something special because much like in Revenge of the Fallen, after the movie was over, we got the whole Hunt for the Decepticons, toy line which kind of focused on the aftermath of Revenge of the Fallen. I'm guessing this is a similar scenario, but it's less explicit on, that it happens after the movie. In these new toys, we get a new Energon Igniters, Ironhide and Ratchet, and what's really interesting is that they're in Earth vehicle forms, not Cybertron forms, Earth vehicle forms. And the reason why I believe this is pretty much canon is not only because they're, major G1 characters and fan favorites, but look at the designs. There's a decent mix between G1 and the movie aesthetics. Ironhide has his, movie cannons. Ratchet has his, movie colors along with his, movie face, which is something that Optimus Prime and Bumblebee had throughout the movie. They were both, heavily G1 inspired, but they still had that Michael Bay feel to it. So that's why I'm saying that these 2 are kind of pretty much canon because you have to have Ratchet and Ironhide. They're also really famous movie characters. A lot of fans really like these 2 characters. And I just don't see Hasbro ignoring these two characters, especially since they made toys out of them. We also need to keep in mind that the new continuity is not rejecting the Michael Bay era. Like, they're like mirroring aspects of the Michael Bay era. For example, Bumblebee landing on Earth, him losing his voice, his design, and all of the other Transformers designs. They're all similar to Michael Bay. There are similarities between the Michael Bay timeline and the new timeline, but I think Ratchet and Ironhide, arriving on Earth alongside Optimus Prime and Bumblebee is something that is most likely gonna happen. It's most likely confirmed. Since this movie is not only trying to pay homage to, the G1 cartoon, but it's also paying tribute to the 2007 Transformers movie. I mean, the first trailer was, had that 2007 feel to it, and the whole time period is somewhat centered around the 2007 movie. And even the producers have claimed that this movie kinda, connects to the 2007 movie, which, well, from a timeline standpoint and a continuity standpoint, it doesn't. They're clearly taking heavy inspiration from the 2007 movie. Hasbro knows how popular it was, so that's why they're trying to capitalize on it. They're like trying to go back to it. So Ratchet and Ironhide being in those meteors makes sense. So I'm gonna say that those guys are pretty much confirmed. So by this point we have 2 out of the 7 meteors, identified. So we have the other 5. Now what Autobots could be on the other 5 meteors? In my opinion, Brawn, Wheeljack, and RC are in those meteors. Since we saw them on Cybertron and they left at the same time as Cliffjumper and B, I think they're most likely in those meteors, but we can't be sure. And also, it's not too much of a stretch to think that there could also be other Autobots that we never saw in the film, because Optimus Prime clearly states that there are other Autobots scattered throughout the cosmos. So this means that at the beginning of the film, when we see the Autobots escape, they're not the first Autobots to escape. Like, this is like during the fall of Cybertron era of the War for Cybertron. The Autobots already lost, they evacuated, and now what's left of the Autobots are evacuating the planet. So meaning that other Autobots already left before them. But all those other Autobots are kind of scattered throughout the cosmos. I don't think they know they're supposed to go to Earth yet. I think Optimus Prime kind of sent them in different directions just to confuse the Decepticons, which I think it's a good strategy. And then he sends Bumblebee to secure a base for, the Autobots on Earth. And after Optimus Prime escapes the war on Cybertron, he tells the other Autobots to go to Earth. Now that Bumblebee has, set up a base for them, which he kind of failed to do at the end of the movie. He kind of just, beats the Decepticons and protects the planet. So I think he still did a good job, but whatever. We also need to keep in mind that they're focusing along the first season of the Transformers, the G1 cartoon. The only character that's not from season 1 or season 2 of the original G1 cartoon was RC. And I think RC was an exception because she's so popular, and you also need a female Autobot to, let the audience know that female Decepticons and female Transformers are not, uncommon, or they're a thing that exists on this world. I think that was like the main reason she was there. But something else I wanna say is that the B movie has a lot of similarities with the Cyberverse cartoon. The Cyberverse cartoon is something I watched until the 7th episode, and I kinda stopped watching. I mean, it's not because I hate the show, I think it's alright from what I've seen so far. I still have to see the new episodes, but Bumblebee loses his memories on the Cyberverse cartoon, and he loses his memories on the movie. The cartoon kind of focuses on Bumblebee and the Autobots arriving on Earth, something that also happens in the movie. The scenes on Cybertron with the Autobots fighting Decepticons and what they're fighting over, it's kind of similar to what happens in the movie, so there are a lot of similarities between the cartoon and the movie. Now, so far, Ratchet, Wheeljack, Hot Rod, Chromia, Prowl, Perceptor, Drift, and RC are on Earth, or are part of the show. And out of those characters, we see RC and Wheeljack in the movie, so I'm guessing it is kind of implied that RC and Wheeljack also make it to Earth. I can see RC making it to Earth early, even though she didn't appear on Earth until season 3 of the G1 cartoon. I do believe having RC on Earth makes sense, just because she's a fan favorite character. Wheeljack's also another fan favorite character, so I would say those two being on the meteors are likely. And now we have 3 more Autobot slots, and to be fair, it could pretty much be anyone. I will say that I definitely don't believe Grimlock or any of the Dinobots are gonna be in there, neither any other combiner team, because I don't think they're gonna add combiners anytime soon. I think they're gonna save that for, a little bit, because combiners, at least in the movies, are kind of a little overdone, and also they never really played a huge role, so I'm gonna say there's not any combiner teams on the Meteors. I think Brawn could probably be one of the Autobots that are amongst the new recruits, but I don't know. Brawn is a G1 character, but I don't think he's popular enough to be in the group. Jazz though, I think Jazz is another likely possibility to be, you know, amongst new Autobots, but the problem with Jazz is that we never saw him in the movie. There's no new Jazz toys, no mention, and one of my subscribers told me that Jazz is actually in the movie and he sent me a screenshot. I'm gonna talk more about that in a future video, but you already have Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Ratchet, and Ironhide amongst the new Autobots, so if you wanna complete the 2007 set, you might as well add Jazz. So I'm gonna put Jazz in here just because, you know, I think it's likely. But then that leaves us with 2 free slots, and to be fair, I have like no idea who could be in these 2. I guess Mirage could be here since he kinda appears on Cybertron, maybe Sideswipe since he's a fan favorite. I think Sideswipe is very likely. Hasbro knows how much people like Sideswipe, but I'm gonna say maybe. Could be a new character that we haven't seen before, like Sunstreaker, Bluestreak, Huffer, Gears, Windcharger, but I'm not really sure who the final slot could be. I'm gonna throw a random guess, and I'm just gonna say it's probably Prowl. I don't know why, but a police Autobot could sell a lot of toys, so that's why I'm thinking that Prowl could be, you know, amongst the new Autobot recruits. Also, I forgot to mention this, I'm not mentioning any flyers because they explicitly say they're going back to the whole G1 aesthetic of, you know, Decepticons being flyers and Autobots being grounded. So characters like Trax or any other Autobot that flies are pretty much off the list, at least for now. But anyways guys, those are just my thoughts. Do you guys agree with them? Do you guys believe that, you know, the characters I mentioned are amongst the new Autobot recruits? I think that at this point, Ratchet and Ironhide are pretty much confirmed. RC's, you know, sort of in the middle. The other Autobots are also sort of in the middle. And the only one I have my doubts about will be Prowl. Just because there's not enough, you know, clear evidence to point to him being in the movie. So yeah, just tell me in the comments down below which characters do you think are in the movie, which ones are amongst the new Autobots, and which ones you would like to see. I was gonna showcase the comments from my community tab where I asked you guys what characters could be in the movie, but since there's about 300 comments in there, I decided against it because if you want me to cover all those comments, that will be like an hour-long video, and I don't think any of you guys will like that, so yeah. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. And also, Cliff Jumper's not coming back. I'm sorry, so stop saying that.